Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to our nightly NBA recap. Oh man, some teams made it so easy today, and I am so grateful for it. Uh, you know, except those pesky Thunder, you just had to make it interesting, but it's okay. That wasn't the late game. I thoroughly appreciate the Los Angeles Lakers for making this night end very, 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 very early. But we're gonna get to that in just a little bit because if you're a Trailblazers fan, it's been fun. It's been a good ride. Yeah, that's tough. All right, but we're going to start at the very, very beginning of the day. The Milwaukee Bucks, led by Giannis, they beat the Magic to take a 3-1 series lead. Giannis had 31 points, 15 rebounds, 8 assists. Vucevic continued to eat the series. He's been one of several consistent contributors for Orlando, probably the most prominent in terms of his production. He had 31, 11, and 7 in this one. But we'll start with you, Cardell. Your thoughts on the Bucks taking a 3-1 lead?
I just think they have that number now. They figured them out. And Giannis getting help, getting contribution. Chris Middleton finally woke up. He had 18 of his 21 points in the fourth quarter, which is big. That's money time. And they're going to need that game in and game out if the Bucks are to come out the East and go to the finals. That's all it really has, man. Magic and young. They're missing key players, Isaac, Aaron Gordon. But they're up and coming. I like where the foundation that they have. They just have to keep building. But truth be told, the Bucks should have got them up out of there already. Been wrestling like Toronto, honestly. But some of his teammates act like they didn't want to wake up until game or two ends. So that's what it is, man. But yeah, Giannis been consistent. Like I said before, I'm not worried about Giannis. I know what he's going to bring. It's the others I'm looking at, but especially Chris Middleton. He showed up today. That's why they won.
Yeah, we're going to get to talking about folks number twos not showing up. It's been a theme of this first round of the playoffs. But again, I'm doing my best to be mature this evening. It's probably not going to work too well. But Raymond, your thoughts on, again, the Bucks fully taking control of this series as they're one game away from finishing this one out with what would be the gentleman's sweep.
You just see the difference when Middleton joined the party. He came alive in the fourth quarter and they stretched the lead out and won by 15. They were up by 3 at the beginning of the quarter and they just ran away with it. Orlando just ran out of steam, and the Bucks took advantage. Like Cardell said, they're missing some pieces. They're a young team. I know it was a lot of knee-jerk reactions to them winning the first game, but people got to be realistic here. And like that, I fully expected the Bucks to win this series. It probably should be over with by now, but it is what it is. They up 3-1, and they're looking to take care of business in a couple of days so they can move on. But yeah, Middleton just needs to continue to play this way, especially once they get deeper into the playoffs and start facing tougher competition. He's going to need to be there. He's going to need to show up every game, or it's going to be rough for him. So yeah, it's good. It's good to see him kind of get into the flow of things, and hopefully he can keep it up.
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to add on this one, like Cardell mentioned, it's not the end of the world for Orlando. You have some really nice young pieces. Due to the trade you made last year, you look like you have your point guard for the future. You got a couple pieces for the future. It's just about adding to them, and then you guys getting better. But this experience right here, it's huge. It's big for them. Another thing to think about, with all the uncertainty in the league and what some teams might do or how some teams might operate that'd be differently. It's not exactly what they have is not exactly a bad core to have if it continues to develop with teams that, because of COVID, people might not be spending money the way they would because the league year is not going to be this. It's not regular. Like we all know, the pandemic has affected a lot of things. It's going to affect off seasons. Again, it's a good young core, man. It's not the end of the world, but like you both said, this should have been taken care of already by Milwaukee. But, they're not the only team that's kind of played with their food at times or gotten some tough situations already in the first round. All right. Oh, man, this one. The Thunder, even the series. 117-114 win today. Dennis Schroeder with a career playoff high 30 points. For some folks, for Houston, felt like a little moment of deja vu when everything's going right, and then you act like you're not allowed to take any other shot but a 3-pointer, and then things happen. We've been here before. It wasn't quite as bad as the last time it happened in the playoffs, but again, you were in a position to take full control of the series. It's now 2-2. Ray, you can go first on this one.
Houston going Houston, man. Like that's just what it is. They fall in love with that three. I mean, I know it's their way of life, but you live by the three, you die by the three. They came out in the third quarter and made 8 in a row. They went up by like 15 or 16 or something like that, but then they just went cold and just forgot that there are other ways to score. And OKC took advantage. They walked them down. Dennis Schroeder was huge. We got to talk about Luguentz Dort too. His defensive pressure has, it's been a catalyst for the Thunder, especially in their last 2 wins. And also, this second straight game, Houston gave one up after leading big in the latter stages of the game. I don't know if that's going to affect them mentally. I'm pretty sure the Thunder have getting a huge confidence boost from this. But we got a series all of a sudden, after Houston took the first 2. But yeah, man, you can't play around with people. Like you gotta get them out the way. Especially a team like this. They got a mixture of youth and vets. They have one of the most savvy vets out there, and Chris Paul leading the way. So, man, Houston gotta get them out the way because you don't want to end up in a dogfight with these guys. Because, like I say a lot, you're leaving it up to chance when you don't handle business early, and that's a dangerous game to play.
Cardell, your thoughts on the Thunder evening this series 2-2?
Chris Paul and Dennis Schroeder woke up the last 2 games. Chris Paul's controlling the game. He said he needed to get more aggressive after they lost the first 2 games, and he's been doing that, scoring the ball, especially late in the game. Mm-hmm. He's controlling the pace. He's finding guys. He's doing what I expect Chris Paul to do. And Dennis Schroeder just tearing their ass up off the bench, man. He had 29 in game 3, and he had 30 in this game. There's no coincidence they're winning. You know what I mean? But on top of that, analytics cost some teams chances to really do some damage because they ego and pride. Mm-hmm. There's no way in hell you should take 58 threes. It's just for what? I don't care. Come look at this. 23 of 58. You shot 39%. Now, from 3-point range, that's pretty good. You know what I mean? But you're still missing a little bit over 6 out of every 10 shots, which means you're giving the ball back to Chris Paul to control the pace to get opportunities to score. This is how Chris Paul and them counteracting it. Late in games, they're putting James Harden in pick and roll situations, forcing him to have to guard. It's wearing him down, which is why he can't close like he would like to. But on the other hand, OKC shot 11 of 32 threes. That's not their bread and butter. This is where they made it up at the free throw line, 22 of 28. Houston shot 9 of 10. So you're controlling the clock and you're getting free points. Now they barely won because obviously when you got a 3-point shooting team, it's an up and down thing. You can explode out the gate, get a big lead, but eventually you're going to cool down. We've seen the Warriors are the greatest shooting team we've ever seen. And we've seen it happen to them where they've literally lost championships because they couldn't continue to hit the three. Legs got fatigued and all that. That's what happens. Guys contesting them, and they couldn't adjust. This is what you're seeing with Houston. They can't adjust. And with Chris Paul controlling it, with Steven Adams down there banging, getting all the balls, like you said, Dort out there harassing Gordon, trying to harass Gordon and Harden, just making it tough on them best he can. Schroeder cooking whoever. I mean, he hitting threes and jumping back down half court before the jump go in. He's in the rhythm. It's serious right now. You know what I mean? So they looking at Russ like, you ready? It's at that stage, man, because if you don't come back soon, it may not be as soon for him to come back to. You know what I mean? At some point, you got to adjust, man. And I think that's what always kills Houston when playoff time comes. They don't adjust. It gets to a point where the three ball don't fall, and teams take them out. And if they fall in the first round, there's gonna be some heads that roll for real, and it's gonna be in the front office and on the roster. But go ahead, Wilson.
Yeah, the Thunder led the league this season with 17 wins after trailing heading into the final quarter. So
Chris
they're
Paul,
comfortable in this place. Like you said, Chris Paul effect. They're not worried when they're down because, again, they're literally it's literally, let's talk about, like, just to, think about football for a second. There's a lot of teams, Green Bay, like Green Bay, where they throw the ball all year long. Everything's fun. Get up and down the field is exciting. Everybody loves to get to the playoffs. Some point you need to run the ball. Doesn't happen. Can't control the game. And like Cardell said, you giving Chris Paul extra possessions, it's going to catch up to you. Like, here, control some more of it. Why not? Here, sir, have another. And that's, I think, what they're missing so much is that's why Russ was such a big pickup for them. He's the one dude over there. He lives at the rim. He's either midi or at the rim. So this is one of those things where, again, unfortunately for some people that don't realize what stuff looks like until, those pieces aren't available. If everyone's pretty much living beyond the three-point line and shooting, and you got your one guy who's consistently, like Russ by himself, he gets to the line 11, 12, 13 times a night. That's not there at all. So you take that whole ingredient away. Like you guys been saying, that's also, it's easier for the OKC defense. I know you're still scrambling, but again, you're not scrambling and having to live with somebody still coming down the middle lane, being at the rim with you guys out of position. It's just the ball keeps moving for another three. At some point, if you stay connected, it's a contested three. Those legs get tired, like you said, Cardell. So I think a lot of teams mess up where they try to find mismatches for Harden in a post. Man, he's cool when he's stationary. It's hard to move that dude. Put him, like you said, you put him in a screen roll, you put him out of space. He ain't got time for that. His legs ain't like again, it's like the same ending of the movie. It's just a different way we get there every time with Houston. So it, like Cardell said, if they don't figure it out and make like a good run this year, if they don't get out this series, they are already cheap, man. Y'all know look, anything can happen with that. But we're gonna move on. Miami Heat complete the sweep of the Indiana Pacers with a 99-87 victory. This is the first time Miami made it out the first round since 2016. But in this one, also Indiana has dropped 4 straight postseason series to Miami since 2012. Just providing some context here. But Ray, you could go first on this one.
This was a defensive battle, man. It was actually a little refreshing to see in this day and age. But yeah, Miami's bench made a difference. Indiana's they're depleted with injuries and a lack of depth just caught up to them. This is this restart process has been grueling for all the teams, and to not have your full depth, it's bound to catch up at some point. And with Miami already, I feel like they were the better team anyway. It was just pretty much a foregone conclusion. But Indiana, they fought. TJ Warren had a good game. Miles Turner had a really good game. But on the Miami side, they just made the plays. Their bench contributed 38 points. Bam was down there making a difference. Indiana just did everything they could, but it was just a foregone conclusion from jump, at least from my perspective. But yeah, man, Miami, they went out and closed them out, so now they get some extra rest, which will help because especially with Jimmy Butler, he banged his shoulder up. He came back in the second half, wasn't that effective offensively, but he did what he did, had a gritty performance, played defense, and it just seems like he's in a position where he's finally allowed to be the undisputed leader, and he's rubbing off on those guys. They got a lot of young guys. Kendrick Nunn came back for the first time today. But yeah, man, I like what they're doing down there, and I'm going to enjoy watching them going forward.
Cardell?
Now like you said, the Pacers was just wounded. They needed some bonus in the worst way. That was the missing piece to kind of even things up a little bit where it would have been more competitive and whatnot. You know, Miami was just deeper. Their bench outscored them with 41-3. You know, it's hard to win like that. You know, he's putting a lot of pressure on your starters that have to produce and score all the time, and the coach that have to keep him in the game even when they're tired because he's getting nothing from his bench. You know, so that's just something they're going to have to shore up. And you know, I mean, like he said, it was a defense. Like Ron Raymond said, it was a defensive battle, but that's just the Pat Riley culture. All his teams are grinding, except for the Showtime Lakers. You know what I'm saying? That was glitz and glamour, but every team he's been a part of, they're grinding. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be a tough out. That's why I was like, playoff time. I love the playoffs, so I call it. You know, it's the part of the season where they cut all the cute shit out. You know what I'm saying? That you see in the regular season where they be fooling everybody. And like, these teams won't be this and be that. But like, we'll see. And in the playoffs, you see it ain't like that. So that's why I'm like the Bucks. You can't play them around. You got to get the magic up out of there because you want to see the Heat next round. And it's gonna be a battle. You know, they're gonna be up for you, man. That's the Pat Riley culture. They only want a certain type of player. You got to be a dog to play for them because it's you know, that coach is real. And I would ask people to go check out the Knucklehead podcast or whatnot, because when they was talking about, they had a conversation about the Pat Riley, led teams when LeBron and all them was there, and they was talking about how LeBron was mad when certain perks weren't awarded to him, and UD, for everybody from UD to do UA, like, yo, that's how it is, dog. It is what it is. You got to fall in line. And they were saying, it was actually the former assistant coach, what's his name, Fizdale.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking about it, and Fizdale, he was just walking by and he was complaining like because he could have his peoples coming in. They was just saying like, yo, this don't nobody get to have their family up here, dog. It's a place of business. This is the way, dog. You gotta fall in line. And he fell in line. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to win, which is what they're doing now. But it's just, what he's trying to do in LA, man. But that's what it is, man. It's that coach. It's refreshing to see where, keyword accountable that's been missing a lot of sports. You see in Philly that word is being used a lot because it's not there right now. And Miami is definitely there, though. You ain't gonna, it's not gonna be an easy win with them. So, hey, man, I'm excited to see that battle with the Bucks, man, because see now that's what I'm saying about Middleton. He got to deal with Jimmy. So what you gonna do? All right. So, I don't want to hear nothing about Giannis. Giannis, a band gonna rumble, but I think Giannis gonna be all right.
Oh,
Jimmy,
man.
What you gonna do, Chris? Like, this is it. It gets harder as the rounds go. Y'all know how it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if the Bucks advance, you got your pick between the young boys of Boston and Siakam and company in Toronto. Like, it's just, like you said, you had to show up at some point.
That's why when you win the championship, I don't want to hear none of the look, you respect. Because you got to go through some battles to get that shit.
All right, on to the least competitive matchup of the evening. The Lakers showed out on Mamba Day. They destroyed the Blazers 135-115. They take a 3-1 lead. All right, so look, I would love to inform you guys of post-game stats. It was over at the half, so that's what you got in this graphic. LeBron and AD combined for 40 points, 7 rebounds, 11 assists on 13 and 16 shooting. Again, that's 13 and 16 shooting, which clearly indicates there was, I can't even say little resistance. There was no resistance. 13 of 16. Cardell, you got this one. Go ahead. All right, I'm good.
Man, I'm just happy that Gloria James gave birth to this guy named LeBron James. And you know what I'm saying?
Hey, look. The timeline was wild tonight. Y'all have to find. Oh my goodness! Like,
I got to shot. Man, I just seen some wild stuff.
I got another one for you,
man. LeBron not even really doing nothing special. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. Like, the boy's driving in the lane on the worst defensive team in the league, and I'm not discrediting him. I'm just saying what he's doing. He's driving to the lane. He's either scoring inside or when they close in and collapse on him. He's finding guys for open threes on the corner, and they're making the threes. So now, the worst defensive team in the league is shell shock. So what you think gonna happen? You see what I'm saying? And on top of that, to be real, the Blazers are done, dog. And this is what I was worried about. I'm like, son, y'all fought hard as hell to get in the playoffs, and y'all reward was the Lakers. You see what I'm saying? This is why when teams be like, it ain't no big deal in the regular season, I'm like, nah, play them Jones catch up to you, dog. Like, then you find yourself having to fight to get to a certain position late in the season, then the playoffs come, you dead. You know what I'm saying? You need all your energy to deal with this Lakers mob, because one of those dudes, LeBron and AD, is hell to deal with, man. You know what I'm saying? Now you got both of them. And you got guys that understand their roles now and stuff like that. They got firepower. Guys that want to defend. But give credit to Frank Vogel. His defensive, his defensive strategy is top notch, and people forget about that, because I remember when he was in Indiana, they was taking Miami to wars, man. They was taking them to wars, dog. So he's a great defensive minded coach, and LeBron just picking those guys apart. It's either you gonna watch me score, or we gonna bomb you with threes, and then AD just murdering that base. Like, this, not being able to play defense. If you're that type of person where you don't value defense, the first round of this playoff should dead all that, because this been these people, the people and teams that don't play defense, they've been getting exposed left and right, and it ain't pretty. I'm talking about Reg and the Clippers series. Harden, man, we all know about Harden, and you seen what happened with Portland. That's why he was like, I think Portland can give him a run from that. Like, bro, Dame can't. The only way they can be competitive is Dame's still on that 51-point rampage, and that ain't gonna happen. He's human. He's gonna tire out, and at the end of the day, you ain't just AD you got to deal with. You got LeBron running from behind trying to block you. Then you got Dwight and JaVale down that jump, dog. And then you got scrappy guards all over the place digging that. Man, that's tough. You know what I'm saying? And really, if you look at Portland, truthfully, they only really got 3 scores you can kind of count on. And that's if Melo, got some legs left and stuff like that. Gary Trent, young boy, this is his first time. He don't know. He learning on the fly. He competing. I give him credit. He competing, but he ain't ready for this type of bump yet. You know what I'm saying? He young. And the rest of them, they just, it is what it is, man. I ain't trying to disrespect nobody, but the Lakers are doing what I expected them to do. So they getting them up out of there, and then this gentleman sweep is inevitable unless Dame just go nuclear. But even with that, game's still just gonna be close, and ain't like they're gonna blow them out like they were doing to get in the playoffs. So they just outmatched, man. You know what I'm saying? They need a reason. They need Zach Collins. They need all hands on deck, and they don't have that, and that's the problem.
Yeah, and the other thing, we were talking about even going to the series, like, it was obviously Dame was gonna have to be big, but the bigs were gonna have to be consistent, and they have not been. Just to have a chance, those 2 bigs were gonna have to be consistent. Nurk's been out of gas for like 2 games, it feels like, and then Whiteside.
That boy IQ. like really think about it. Pat Riley gave him the big contract, right? And then found out, he realized, you know what, I made a mistake. They sat this man in the middle of a big contract for Bam, who's on his rookie deal. They're like, but just sit down, bro. We ain't trading you because you owe some money. You gonna help out. You gonna do something. You gonna wave the towel. You gonna do something. We gonna make you work. And then when the contract, hey, y'all go ahead and take him. Go ahead and take him. See what I'm saying? It's IQ, and he's talented as hell, dog. Like, he should be dominating the series, bro. Like, seriously. Yeah. Stupid fouls away from the basket, fouling AD on 3-point shots.
The floaters.
LeBron going down there, he just watching, bro. You a shot blocker, Slim. At least wave at the man. Like, he just watching him like he a little guard. Like, what I'm supposed to do? I'm like, you the footer. So now you don't have trust behind you in the paint in case I get beat. So what you gonna do as a guard? You know what I'm saying? It's I mean, damn, dog. Melo provided more resistance. He come on, man. He 17 years, bro. It's just,
go ahead, Rex.
Outmatched. Let's call it what it is. Outmatched.
Man, yeah, like it ain't no need to write a thesis on this. Like, I mean, we talked about it prior to the playing game. If the Blazers want to play defense like this, then they was going to get washed, and that's exactly what's happening. Like, LeBron got he got the red carpet to the cup, and AD doing whatever he want. You know, so and like Cardell said, like this has been a trek for the Blazers, and they're done. Like they're spent physically, mentally, and emotionally. Like it's not much they have left. Like, and then you can look at Dame and tell when they just trapping him as soon as he cross half court, and it's demoralizing. Especially when nobody else can get anything going. Like if he's already accounting for two people and the rest of the team playing 4-on-3 and you still can't get a good shot, like what do you want? Like he might as well shoot from the logo every single time. But yeah, like I mean it again, Blazers they got the first game and people wanted to act like it was gonna be something it wasn't, but anybody with sense kind of figured how this series was going to go. It was cool they got the first one, but yeah, they just didn't have anything left after that. And Lakers made the defensive adjustment, which has obviously been Portland's Achilles heel. Even going back to when they played the Pelicans in the playoffs a couple years ago, and Golden State did the same thing last year. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
Rondo, yo, why y'all playing with him? Do what we did, get them about it,
right?
Quick.
Right, yeah, because game one they let them go 1-on-1, and that's if you do that with a score like Dame, then you giving them life. Just go ahead and bring the double immediately, because they obviously don't know how to beat it. But yeah, man, yeah, I hate to see them go down like this after how hard they fought to get here, but. You got to do what you got to do, man, to be competitive, and they just not doing it. Like they're not even trying to play defense, so you get what you get, and it's just gonna be what it's gonna be, man.
Yeah, I was just the only thing I took from tonight. It was fun watching Vogel's defense. They were amped up. They did their job. They were executing. So as much as we having fun about with LA or whatever, but yeah, their defense it was fun to watch. They've been a good defensive team most of the year. When they're locked in, they are a very good defensive team. It was fun watching them fly around and literally just take whatever little bit of will the Portland Trail Blazers had left. They took it. It's gone. It's done. And you can literally see the spirit come up out of them. Like you can see it. Like give me that. And then, like you guys been saying before we get out of here, it has been so refreshing to watch. Again, like it's something I still can't wrap my head around. There are so many players in this league right now that have so much athletic ability on one end of the ball and a third of it on the other end. And it's fun watching, you're literally getting to see, for all you guys that aren't in the playoffs, who don't believe in the other side of the ball, it might behoove you to start doing some slides while you're in quarantine or what have you. But this is the fun part. Like things happen in cycles. Things go around. It's cool when you're the one putting somebody in the mix. It is not fun when people are like, "Nah, switch that, nah, switch again." Yeah, him.
And that's the problem. They switch too much these days. That's what cost another team from LA the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, guard your man straight up, fight around those screens, and stay with him, bro. It's not rocket science, man. It takes a little bit more effort. Yeah, you're gonna be tired. I hate that, but they be like, man, he's gonna be tired at the end of the game. Well, what the fuck you supposed to be doing? Like, nigga, you playing 40 minutes. You playing hard. You better be tired after the game. Only way you should be tired after the game is if you ain't playing. So I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, where we get this? We grew up on standards, bro. Like, no, you gotta play both hands. That wasn't even a question if you playing both hands. Like, that's expected. You know what I mean? Now it's just, man, you do a couple step back threes and people just let you slide. And it's like, nah, man, all right. Last time I checked, ain't no champion coming out the NBA that don't play defense, that never play defense. Every champion play defense. So,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and the part about switching, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with switching if everybody on the floor is keyed in defensively. But the problem is people take it like they've done with other things in this game. They took switching, and it's like they make it a thing where it's a break instead. Mm-hmm. Like if it's two good defenders switching, cool, it's not a problem. But when you're just switching for the heck of switching, it literally costs you a game just because you did. Like you said, fight through it. And the teams that have done a great job switching, all 5 people clamp. Not just 1 or 2, all 5 are clamping on that end. But
the thing I hate about that, but I still hate switching because it builds bad habits. You know
no, I
what I'm
got
saying?
you.
Where you don't have to fight as much,
Right.
and when you need to fight, it's gonna be foreign to you. When you
No, I
do
got you.
that.
That's true though.
You know what I'm saying? You giving them play that way unless you run up into a hot team. Like I get it. The Warriors kind of brought that switching ish back into the league because they had so many weapons, especially when Kevin came.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like they going around that screen, you got to switch because the ball is up and they're gonna make it. But what team has been the Warriors? Name a team that's been like the Warriors. You know what I'm saying? So no, we're not doing that. Maybe when Houston's on fire, yeah, you gotta do it. But other than that, nah, man, fight around the screen, guard your man straight up. You know what I'm saying? Like even bigs today, they say the players today are so much more evolved. Why can't they stay with the guards? So I don't want to hear that mess, man. It's just as simple as that. Like, no, you just giving these dudes passes and stuff. And when you switch enough times, especially in pick and roll and stuff, you're just giving the team the matchup that they want, which is how Reggie switched on to Luka the other night. Hey, Kawhi did he and I'm looking at him like you should come out game 5. Like I got Luka dog.
Yep.
This boy
off break.
Yes, and I'm like, nah, player, he getting the hell out of hand. He gonna have to son this nigga like straight up, man. You know what I'm saying? Before we be up out of here, we be at the crib watching the Lakers play. You know what I'm saying? That's just real. So you got to do that, man, and especially fine if you do it all game. But when it comes to game time and win a situation, it ain't no question. I'm not even hearing what the coach got to say, bro. I got him. He just gonna have to hit this tough jump over me. It is what it is, man. So. Nah, man. I mean, I think people too relying on switching. It allows players to bail out and allow them to be lazy, and then you pay for it later, man. Because everybody's not gonna be in tune like that. You know, it's just the facts.
Like I said, I definitely agree to that because it's just happening too much. Like it's literally like you said, it's giving off exactly what they want, and then by the time, like you said, if you're not a great defensive team to where y'all comfortably switching on a regular basis, you should be like if you're in tune, you're switching before the screen. Like you don't have to hit the screen to switch, right? But these folks, it's hit the screen. Hey, that's a whole bucket gone.
But when you do that, think about it. If I'm the opposing coach and I see you do that just willingly, that tells me you're not confident in your team's ability to defend. You feel what I'm saying? And you just bailing them out like it's a copycat league. So they copy. Everybody's just copy what the Warriors was doing because the Warriors was smacking everybody. But you don't have the Warriors personnel to do that. So, all right, the Warriors got lethal weapons on offense. We know that. But they got one of the best defensive players, Draymond. They got one of the best other wing defenders in Clay. You had Iguodala, you had Sean Livingston that strap up. You had guys that play defense, one-on-one great. Even Steph, when he's locked in, can get in there and they go defend or whatever like that. You see what I'm saying? They tried to target him, and it wasn't easy. They ain't just destroy him like that. So, you know, even in bucket like the clutch shot Kyrie hit, Steph was with him. Kyrie just hit a tough-ass shot. You just got to take your head off to him. But you made them work. That's the best you can do with these type of players and stuff like that. So why I don't understand why people making this more difficult because you scared they're gonna be tired. Okay, they can have all the energy at home watching the playoffs.
And it was 3 seconds left. You're already tired regardless in that situation. I guess the fun thing before we get out of here tomorrow night, we saw Chris Middleton kind of step up finally for the Bucks. Paul George, APB's out on you, sir.
Oh man,
I'm gonna be completely honest right here. I know you've been getting hit kind of hard out here, but you know, it's one of those things that you kind of brought this on yourself. Y'all weren't playing the Blazers. The Blazers had nothing to do with you. Whatever Dame was doing was Dame's business. That was between him, the team he was playing, and whoever you insert in Bev. See, like that's different. Bev's used to nobody liking him. Bev don't care. Like
he talks. That's his game. That's his game.
You jumped out there, said that stuff, and man.
And also, and to be even more detailed, just get in there more with Paul George. You're making things more difficult for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, they do miss Pat, no doubt.
Real bad.
Because he's their energy. Cause he the one getting your ass like, yo, fight those, you know what I'm saying? But Paul George, stop taking these crazy shots. Like, why are you shooting fading right, mid-range jumpers, fading right over 2-3 dudes? You make it, or get to your spots and just knock it down like you were leading up to the playoffs, bro. You making it, and his teammate said that Jermichael said, you know, he's in his own head right now because he's trying to like fight through what he hear. I'm like, bro, turn the phone off. Matter of fact, delete your apps. Don't even listen to social media, man. Don't turn on no sports shows. Just be in the gym. Just lock down. You all right. You getting good shots, but man, you dog. And fine, if you off, cool. Luka, erase him and you win.
Yeah.
I'm about to erase Luka. So they be like, he was off, but I'm gonna bring this, you know. And that's why, you know, they always compare those two to, you know, as far as everything they bring to the table, Kawhi and PG to Mike and Pip. And I'm like, nah, Mike and Pip, that's a different animal, dog. You know what I'm saying? The way they play, that's what I mean. They got to get to that level of defense to win the championship, especially if they get past the series and run up to this LA team, because they're going to have to get stops. You know what I'm saying? If you can't stop Luka and all that, it's hard for me to say you can stop LeBron enough and AD enough to win.
That's the truth. I mean, that's the honest, the goodness truth. If Luka's down here knocking folks back or whatnot, the other guy, that's a whole. So like,
Red's one of them players that need to do some defensive slides. I heard he be at Mamba Academy. After shooting, get in that sand, get the sliding, get the bar strong.
Yeah, he been getting torched.
It's been real out here. We want to thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. You know, we got our regular show tomorrow night at 8 p.m. So go ahead and make sure you check in with us then. Might have a recap tomorrow night as well. So as always, follow us on our social media, you know, at The Focus TV on Instagram, at The Focus _TV on Twitter. We'll see you guys very, very soon.